Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jessica Taylor. People gathered on the steps of the Idaho State Capitol to protest the death of George Floyd and spread a message of change. All over America, those protests have turned to riots, but as Idaho News 6's Steve Dent shows us, that didn't happen here in Boise.
Hundreds gathered at the Idaho State Capitol to speak out against racism.
Please protect people of color.
To show they're fed up with police brutality in our country.
Blue line needs to go. Qualified immunity needs to go.
While also remembering George Floyd.
George Floyd!
Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer on Memorial Day.
9 minutes. Somebody on your neck. Try 46 years. Try 200 years.
The death of George Floyd
No violence! No violence!
has led to protests all over America.
There is racism, there is police brutality everywhere. The system is corrupt in some ways, and in some ways it's good.
It remains unclear who organized the protest. Black Lives Matter in Boise took it over and then canceled it soon after. But people of all different races, old and young, showed up to lend their support.
To really get the turnout that we have right now, it makes me feel very, very, very good about what's going on in this country.
Terrell White has split time in Boise and Los Angeles throughout his life.
The police that I've ran into here, they've been pretty fair. We don't see the same element here that you see in LA, where the police want to take advantage of their authority. And so I actually commend the police here for the way that they react and the way that they do their job, but it's not that way in the majority of this country.
You be prepared, but you represent yourself in intelligence, with compassion, and with some reservation.
And while this issue has fueled riots in other large cities, the people at the protest in Boise wanted a peaceful demonstration.
It's not about rioting, it's not about damages to property. We're not here to hate on people and attack anybody. We're here to stop a corrupt system.
Terrell White says African Americans have tried peaceful protests. He referenced former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick. But he also says when that doesn't work, it doesn't mean the fight ends.
Sometimes peaceful works, sometimes it doesn't. And so instead of bashing them and changing the narrative, let's actually pay attention to what they're actually out there for, what they're screaming about, what they're reacting to, why they're so emotional, and do something about that.
We were at the protest for an hour and a half. One person ignited some animosity, but in the end, cooler heads prevailed in Boise.
It's okay. It's okay. We're not violent.
Steve Dent, Idaho News 6.
Both the Idaho State Police and members of the Boise Police Department were on hand at the protest, but they never intervened in any of the demonstration at the time of our reporting.